better? No, last of that section, but not last of the girl.
All right, what do we got? Questions?
Is there a same side pass counter in the curriculum? Same side pass counter.
I mean, not in the curriculum, but if you were going to do it, it starts with that. Anytime you're going to pass, you're usually going to go over on your leg, right? Over and in this case, you're kind of going outside, so it's sort of both. But there's so much space. The moment you grab my legs, whether you push or pull, I'm almost always going to do the same thing. I'm going to try to take the side you're toward and grab that arm somehow, because it's hard for you to go past your arm. Because your steps for this are to get up here and get a hold of the collar. So I'm going to try to inhibit that as much as I can and maybe put something else in the way here. So now when you try to come in, you're kind of forced to hop over or go around or something like that. In which case, I just stay prepared for it. So usually the moment the leg gets pushed down, I'm already grabbing this.
Gotcha.
Whether you're there or not. Even if you're inside my guard, you push this down, the first thing I'll do is grab this. And I'll try to keep it inside your legs when you step over. You can't step past your own hand. So it's kind of the same for anything when I get this leg pinned.
Gotcha.
Go for that wrist. But it's also a good idea that I prevent you from hopping. So once you pin it, I'll put my hand here. It doesn't completely stop you, but now if you try to go the other way, your head's kind of in your way a little bit.
Yeah.
Enough for me to feel it, slow you down, and maybe get my legs back into the ground.
Cool.
But there's no counter in the curriculum.
Just kind of prep.
Just kind of, it's one of those where you just understand how it works and you kind of limit its development or deconstruct it once it's developed.
Cool, thank you.
What else?
Do you have any tips for how I could make my triangle setup position more secure? Like I either get stacked or I just lose the position altogether.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, if you want to punch someone, you got to be in punching range and you can be punched. So there's a way I like to do the triangle to avoid strikes and to avoid stacking and to avoid as well being picked up in a slam. And I usually do it out of an arm lock. So sometimes what I'll do, and it's usually when this leg is posted or they're standing, something like that, is if I find this arm anywhere near my neck or something like that, I'll reach across and I'll hold the other arm and I'll spin. And from here, I'll hold both arms for the arm lock. Or if I had the leg over, rather than just going for the triangle here, I would do the same thing here for the triangle. So what happens whenever I do this is go ahead and try to punch me, try to kick me, try to stack me, try to stand up. Usually I can control everything from here. That's the only place I know of that I can get a triangle and not run the risk of those things happening. Although, the combative's variation of the triangle, the best thing I have to shut all that down is to walk away. But walk away by planting the weight here. I'm not just walking away because he can walk with me if I just walk away and he's going to beat me to the stack.
Right.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this. Go ahead. Now look, you can't stack.
Okay.
So the basic one that you already know can work a little better if you activate that foundation leg.
Okay.
But even then, there's a moment where you have to let go of that and latch it.
Right.
And you're still vulnerable. But you narrow the window, and dramatically you narrow the window if you can stretch them out a little bit first.
Okay.
It's just the nature of jiu-jitsu to put your piece out there and try to attack something. You have to put your piece out there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And we'll figure it out. But the main thing I would say to be really cautious of, because if you're flexible like Pam is, or you're just youthful and your body's, you know, generally pretty flexible, you'll allow things to happen that you shouldn't allow. Like being stacked up too much, being bent up too much. And it may even be okay, you know, for the first decade of training, and then all of a sudden you're in your mid-30s, you get stacked up and now you can't walk, you can't get out of bed, or you have a herniated disc. So the main thing I would say, in addition to what I said earlier, which is just doing it, you're gonna figure it out. Figure it out without being stacked too tightly. Anytime you get stacked and it's a little bit of pressure, just go ahead and tap. And then you start over.
Okay.
It's a lot safer.
Thank you.
How do you breathe? I notice when you roll that you don't breathe heavy or hard or anything. How do you breathe? Just in your nose, out your mouth, kind of very.
Well,
I mean, how do you regulate kind of?
as dumb as it sounds, I just don't breathe. Just make a choice, so I'm not gonna do it.
You don't breathe.
Not heavy. Not heavy. And so for me, you have to have sort of a way of measuring it. You have to have a way of measuring your heart rate, measuring your respiration rate, and you can't just do that. So what I do is exactly what you say. I keep my mouth shut and I breathe through my nose. And if I feel the tendency to want to open my mouth, I slow down. That's the best measure I have without having to constantly think about it to notify me that maybe my heart rate's too high or my oxygen level's too low, whichever. And then I'll slow down and get my pace again. But it's okay. Sometimes I'll breathe hard. Yesterday, me and Scott were rolling for like 45 minutes, and he was going hard, and so there's a couple points where I have to hold him and relax a little bit, and then continue because you're going to explode sometimes, and you need that extra oxygen intake, and you just can't go like that the whole time because you'll wear out.
I got something. I've noticed like sometimes I'll catch like a triangle setup, but from side mount. And it sounds weird, like I have a cross face and then the arm comes out, and I'll actually go latch it. But the problem is, I have to basically get my legs over to entirely the other side.
Do it real quick so I can understand what you're talking about.
So if I'm in a position like this, and I somehow get this up and wind up in this position.
So you're talking about an arm triangle?
Correct, yeah.
Gotcha.
I want to get my legs on the other side to finish it, and that's not easy to do.
Well, it depends. Depends on if I know you're trying to do it or not. If you can catch me relaxed, then you can just hop over, believe it or not. So what you would want to do though is you want to try to encourage me to turn into you.
Okay.
Because when I turn into you, I start to lose the ability to stop it. Right now, if you hop, I can bring my legs up and get them in your face.
Right.